Hello, everyone. Just wanted to say that this is not a podcast launch. We just thought I would record a conversation between two old friends. We decided to call it the long paddle because for both Philippe and I, life has been about setbacks, reinventing yourself, and keep on paddling even when things were tough. So I've got Felipe Denari here, who is a very special friend and someone I've known for a long time. And we met back in the day in Brazil, and our paths kept on crossing through surfing and life altogether. Felipe Denari now is an instructor at Surfers Gym. We are also here at the Bodyform Pilates. He's the co-owner of Bodyform Pilates, and Felipe has been involved with breath work, surf training, and yeah, life is looking good for him. He's got a baby on the way, so happy for him.
Thank
It's
you.
a
Cheers.
pleasure to have you here today, Felipe.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so
Think you've got some questions for me.
yes,
Have
I
you?
do. I do.
Shoot.
So the first question I have is, how did surf first come into your life?
Well, I think you and I, we've been friends for a long time, and we've always lived by the coast. Now, back in Brazil, on the coast of São Paulo, small city called Santos. Not the most beautiful city in the world. Not the
Yeah.
best conditions,
Yep.
but consistent. There's always waves, and from an early age. We started surfing. I was probably 12,
All right.
and yeah, and then we started exploring a little bit, driving to Guarujá, which is the next city over.
Plenty of good
Um,
waves around the area.
that area is really nice. A bunch of professional surfers came out of that area. Adriano de Souza, Kai Belli, and a bunch more.
Yep.
So yeah, that's how I first connected with surfing. I think some of my mates started surfing before me. They invited me, and then I bought a board, and here we are.
That's good. And what kept you going back to the ocean? What kept you hooked in surfing?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I've always loved nature, and
Right.
in Santos, there's not much of it apart from the ocean.
Yep.
We don't have mountains or rivers or lakes, or the ocean was the only thing that we could have access to, and the beach, of course.
It
So we
was a
used to play a lot of soccer,
yeah. It was kind
whatever
of
we could do on the
was kind of
beach.
escaped from the city
Yeah,
for the craziness of the
yeah.
city itself.
It's not a big city, but it's overpopulated, like most places in Brazil.
Definitely.
So whatever excuse we had just to be by the beach, and surfing was always, the main thing. That's probably what connected all of us. Yeah,
That is very true.
yeah,
And I can definitely relate to that.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, that's how we met. I think we met probably through surfing and in English, and
yeah, it was a
common friends.
long time
A
ago.
long time ago.
That's
How
good.
long ago?
I would say you were probably 18 years old, so maybe
20 years ago. I'm
that's
38 now.
so that's gone back 20 years, and we're here on the other side of the world. We'll talk about that too. You coming here and well, having to reinvent yourself, but we get to that in a second. And when did surf stop being just fun and it actually became something more serious in your life?
I think it was actually here in Australia when I started working in the surfing industry. As Fernando said, I am fitness trainer, and my niche is the surf community. I work for this gym. It's called Surfers Gym with Matt Granger, which is one of the biggest legends around this area. And I'm very lucky to actually be part of his team. Thanks, Matty, if you're watching this. Yeah, and that was what 6, 7 years ago. I didn't used to work in the fitness industry back in Brazil, but once COVID hit, it was a life changing, scenario for I guess most people. Most people are like, okay, what's happening with the world? And then it clicked for me. I was like, maybe I should do something that I actually enjoy because if the world ends tomorrow, at least I'm doing something that's meaningful.
Right.
So I started taking all the courses I could. I still do, I love what I do. And I'll continue to improve my skills, learn more so I can provide, better service.
So was that the time when breath work and mobility training or surf training became part of your life, you'd say?
Yeah, I was down the track. So the first thing you need to do, you just need to get a diploma just so you can start teaching group classes,
Right.
private classes, and then you can start doing additional courses in apnea training, breath work, and that sort of stuff really works really well with the surfing, because at the end of the day, you're going through breath holds. Surfing can be really, really scary. So you need to know how to regulate nervous system to go from that fight or flight, that survival mode into a more calm state. So breathing, apnea training, which is breath hold training, it all comes together and it's all connected to surfing. So yeah, and then, we live in Sydney. The waves here can vary from 1 foot to 30 feet.
I know it very well.
You
And you have to be ready.
Overnight, it goes from 1 to 40 feet. I don't know. And it's super gnarly. I didn't used to have that back in Brazil,
Right.
especially in Santos.
Just a fat, slow breaking wave, which it's a good wave for you to start on, but after some time, there's not much challenge to it.
Yeah, right? And then, I started working with Matt here. Matt is a hellman, and he surfs anything every day, any size.
And he trains hard too, right?
He trains hard. He does all the, physical training. He's a strong guy. He's 56 now, but like he's
still charging.
Still a grommet, young spirit, big inspirational person for us. And yeah, that's when it all came together.
Right. And would you draw any parallels to breath work and what you've learned through breath work and life? Is there any parallels that you draw between what you learned during all these years, with breath training and surf training and preparing yourself for bigger waves? What are the parallels you draw with actual life? What do you take from these breath work techniques that you've learned and putting them into practice to the real world, to the challenges we have to face in our daily lives?
That's a good question. I feel like, we all go through stress, whether it's in a water scenario or at work, and it helps with everyone, corporate world, it's very stressful. So when you can use breathing techniques as a tool to shift states, to get out of the stressful situation, to actually, if you learn a few breathing techniques on how to, calm yourself down, bring your heart rate down, just so you can make better decisions. Use functional breathing, helps you with posture. Sometimes people that work in front of the computer every day, they don't realize they have that hunched forward posture. It doesn't let you to actually engage your proper breathing muscles. And then all of a sudden you're working through that shallow breath, which is just like through your mouth. And then it puts you in what we call a sympathetic state, which is that part of your nervous system that we call the fight or flight. So you're always on that survival mode, stressful mode. So if you use breathing techniques to actually shift into a more calm state, that can be applied, as I said, in the water or any scenario, at home, at work, on the streets, in traffic, while you're driving your car.
That's quite interesting what you just said, because you can go weeks without food, you can go days without water, but you can't go without air for more than 5 minutes.
Yeah, and, if you're good at it.
And yeah. And most people don't even realize it. They're not even aware of our breath. And if you start paying attention to it, you realize how your emotions really affect the way you breathe.
I say that breathing is the remote control of your mind. So if you can control your breath, you can control your mind.
Right.
And therefore you'll be able to control your actions, or how you respond to the exterior factors, like whatever life throws at you. If you have more control of your nervous system through your breathing, you're more likely to succeed. if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense. And like, how could someone that hasn't had any experience with breath training or anything like that, how could someone start doing it? What is the best way to really experience it and learn a little about it?
Well, it's not rocket science. There's a lot out there these days, which is awesome. You know, there's a lot more awareness into breathing, into the breath work world. You know, you can just get out there and Google things or use any AI tool that will give you some good tools to start learning on how to be more conscious about it. But as I said, because it's not rocket science, you just need to think of, you know, if I want to calm myself down, all I need to do is just slow down my breathing a little bit.
Which is really hard, especially when you're facing dangerous surfing situations. It's like everyone says, "Oh, don't panic," but it's so hard not to panic. And I think that's where training comes in, and being prepared for it.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people go into some breath work for like maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes a day or every, you know, 3 times a week or whatever. But the actual breath work is on the daily basis, how you actually, you know, use it on day-to-day scenarios, you know.
Right.
Like if you use, like nose is for breathing, mouth is for eating. If you start having that connection, you know, the nose will help you to slow down your breath automatically, you know.
Right.
The nose will connect with your breathing muscles, you know, directly. Your diaphragm, intercostal muscles. You always, through your nose, you're more likely to breathe deeper, slower, with more control. Through your mouth, not really. You know, you connect with your upper chest. People breathe in a more, you know, vertical way, which is more stressful. You know, people tend to get tense.
Right. I do get tense around here. Yeah.
You're on that up and down, engaging the wrong muscles. You know, breathing should be light, should be slow and deep into the core area. So learning those things, you know, just using what we call functional breathing on a day-to-day basis, which is purely nasal breathing, slow, controlled, no panic, mouth closed, open your mouth to eat, to talk, but to breathe, ideally, you know.
Amazing, Felipe. That's amazing. Thank you for the tips. And yeah, just I think the hardest part is trying to apply it to our lives. But it's good.
But the more you do it, you know, as Fernando said, because it's an automatic response of the body, most people don't really think about it.
Yeah.
Right. The more you think about it, it becomes second nature.
The more you become aware of it. Yeah. That's good. And just going back to where we met, as you said, was like you were 18 years old, a little grommet, back in Santos, Brazil. And yeah, it's actually funny to look back. And you were having classes, English classes at my school at the time. And I just want to make a parallel to with the importance of English in your path and how English has helped you to be where you are now, the capacity to communicate in English. And if actually at that age, if you could see that you'd be where you are nowadays.
Oh, I would have no idea. This is where I would be standing now. And I guess most people like that. You can plan life, and everybody should. But you should definitely live at the present moment. And I've always been a person that lived day by day. Like I live the present moment, and I always try to have fun and enjoy the day and make the day, you know, enjoyable. So back to your question. I did, you know, take class with Fernando. He was my first English teacher, still is, always correcting me, which is good, because there's no limit to learning. I know
we're always learning.
So much more for me to learn. I learn new words every day. I think I started learning English with Fernando, my mom, my sister, and a friend. He used to do private classes. He used to come to our place with his little whiteboard, his pens, his paperwork, and we used to, you know, go for an hour, which was awesome. But I think I started taking classes because I think I was trying to work in a cruise ship.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And the cruise ship was an Italian company in Europe, and I had zero English, I think, and I needed to have at least basic. So he helped me a lot. And I think when I Yes, I think before I went on the cruise ship, I started working for you.
Yeah, you did work at the reception for a
Yeah,
little
so I
while.
worked at, so Fernando, he used to run private classes and also he had his own school.
That's right.
Um, yeah, and then I started working there, which was a blast because I could attend a lot of classes. I
You
could
learned a
ask,
lot. I remember
yeah,
you asking questions to every single one of the
I could
teachers.
ask questions to everyone. Like I could practice with all the teachers. Like that was like the when my English started, peaking.
Right.
Yeah, it was a good time of my life because when I went on board, I already knew a little bit of English, and it improved a lot because there was like all different nationalities on board, Europeans, South Americans, from everywhere. So it was really fun, and it progressed a lot. So when went back to Brazil, I just really loved this. What do you call it, hospitality, tourism, because I was like, man, I want to travel the world. I want to be able to communicate with everyone. And I don't want to sound bad. I want to sound clear. I want to come across with
No,
respect.
you're doing excellent now, mate. You've come a long
Yeah.
way.
And here we are.
That's good. And well, that's actually my next question. Like, here we are. And what pushed you to leave Brazil and come to Australia?
So coming back from the cruise ship, I didn't want to live in Santos anymore because, as we said, Santos is not a beautiful place to live. I love Santos, love my family, my friends are all there. Very nostalgic place for us to go these days. But I was like, I don't want to live here anymore. Like I've seen the world now. I went to Europe. I went to many places with the cruise ship because I was there for like 8 months. So I was like, I want to live in a nice area in Brazil. So I went to Florianopolis,
I
which was
remember
also
that.
you took me.
I took you there for the first time, and
Yeah,
that's
I've
you never
never.
came back.
Yeah,
You used to help me at the reception. I took you there, and you're like, "Oh, I'm not going back." I'm like, "What do you mean you're not coming back?"
yeah. So we went down to Florianopolis,
Yeah, I remember
down
that.
south of
Yeah,
Brazil. It's an island. It's beautiful.
it's very similar to Australia, I'd say,
Yeah, yeah.
wave
Very,
wise and
yeah.
landscape and everything.
Landscape, very touristic area.
Yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful part of Brazil.
Yeah, and I
Beautiful
was
part
like,
of
man,
Brazil.
I need to stay here. The waves are good, people are beautiful, food's good. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna go back. So he went back and I didn't.
Yeah. Okay. So and
So,
then
but responding to your question, I lived there for 5 years. I had a girlfriend. We were working in this hotel, which is another place that helped me improve my English a lot because we had international guests coming in every day, and we used to
right.
work at reception. Um, but one day she was like, "Look, this, it's not cutting it anymore. Like, it's not doing it anymore. I think we should go to Australia." And I was like, "Shit, shall we? I don't know." She convinced me, Louisa. Thanks for that. That was awesome. And in 2015, that's when we first came to Australia together.
Amazing, Felipe. It's good to reminisce on all these moments and special moments. That's
Sure.
good. And what was harder than you expected after arriving in Australia?
Um, well, when you get to Australia, I feel like you need to just grab whatever job you can get, even though you could have the most amazing skills. You could be a doctor or an engineer. You're not gonna get an amazing job straight away. So you need to just grab whatever they offer you because bills are, expensive here. You get weekly bills. You're paying for your visa, courses, food, rent, and nothing's really really cheap here. The money we get is good, but I think the hardest part was to go back to doing random stuff, like random jobs, like
Right.
working in construction or delivering food or I don't know, removal, things
You,
like
you
that,
really,
which is
people have no idea. Most people who have never immigrated anywhere don't realize how hard it is and how you
yeah,
have to reinvent yourself.
stuff from
And you,
scratch.
starting from scratch, going from one culture to a total different culture,
Yeah,
a different language to,
mm,
and having to readapt.
yeah,
And as I said before, really having to reinvent yourself. And I think as Brazilians, we're very resilient because, you know, we come here with degrees, and as you said, you just have people like, oh, you have a degree, perfect. Just get this broom and start sweeping the floor. So having to embrace that and really see that as a stepping stone to where you want to get. It takes a lot of courage.
Yeah, I feel like, as you said, as Brazilians, we're very resilient, and that's a good advantage for us. People that come from third world countries, overpopulated countries like we do, and you get to Australia and you see how much opportunity that is, and how resilient we are. So yeah, we're gonna work hard. We're gonna go from office jobs to physical jobs, cleaning, cooking, you know, removalist, construction sites. Still, you're gonna get good money doing those things. You might mess up with your,
You might have
your back be gone, but you get good money, and then if you continue to put in good work, man, you're gonna find your way. You know, you're gonna get to where you want to get. And I feel like most people come here to stay, like we do. Like we didn't come all this way just to learn more English, you know, or you know, experience what Australia has to offer and then go back home.
We're actually adding value to Australia.
I think so. Yeah.
That's the way I like to look at
hard,
it. We work hard.
We're good people.
Yeah, that's you. And Felipe, was there any moment, any period where you doubted yourself during this stage where you're coming here as an immigrant and starting from scratch, having to reinvent yourself? Was there any period where you doubted yourself? Because as in the ocean, there are times when you doubt yourself.
You're always in there. Do I go? Do I pull back? Nah, I feel like I've always been a very positive person. I don't often think of the worst case scenario. I just have a go. I'm gonna get up every day, be grateful, and work towards it. And I will put in 1,000% of my energy into it. And I don't know. I just believe. You know, I've always believed in my capabilities. So I don't think there was a point that was like, oh my God, is this going to work? This is not going to work. I never wanted to question myself. I just knew this place was for me.
Right.
And I would work towards it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sort of sense. And sorry to be mentioning it, but I know that the loss of your mother must have been a very hard time for you, but probably one of the hardest times in your life. I know that as a friend of yours. And how did surfing and the whole training thing helped you during that period? This, I would say this, as I said, probably the toughest time in your life.
I would say, you know, surfing always brought purpose to our lives. And when we are in the water, everything makes sense. And we pretty much surf every day. And so like going in the water, crying my eyes out, and at least I've felt connected. I always do to my mom.
So you feel connected to your mom when you're in the surf?
Like whenever I am in nature, which for me is mostly surfing, that's when I say my prayer, speak to her, and I still do. And yeah.
Amazing, man. Amazing. All right. So the next question is, looking at your life now, what does the long paddle mean to you?
I like the name long paddle. I feel like most people say life is short, and it actually is. You know, even if you live 100 years, it's a short period of time. You know,
It goes quick, right?
It goes quick, but it is a long journey. So life is a long paddle. You know, we just need to continue moving forward. You know, no one paddle backwards.
Just keep on paddling.
Keep on going. It's not a straight line. You know, like the ocean. You need to find a way to get out the back, and you need to find a way to get to where you want to be. As long as you have a direction. Most people in life don't have a direction. They don't have a north.
Right.
They don't know where they want to go. They're existing there, and they're not actually, you know, putting goals or
They complain they're not getting anywhere, but they don't really know where they want to go.
like if you don't know where you want to get to, how do you know you're moving forward?
That's a very good point. That is a very good point, my friend.
So keep paddling.
Keep paddling, yeah. And what keeps you paddling when things feel slow or uncertain?
I don't know, faith. I feel like in Brazil we believe in God and we trust our prayers, our faith, our gratitude. Um, and I don't know, Marley, my wife, says that all the time. I can't sit still. I need to be doing things. So I feel like life never slows down.
Never slows
I
down.
always
eh?
find things to do or new things to do.
To occupy yourself, occupy your
Yeah,
mind.
and like good things, I don't want to just fuck around. Sorry, bad words, but I don't know. I just keep moving. I feel like life's moving. I can't just sit. If I sit, probably just to go to sleep.
Perfect. Well, that's a very good way to say it, and that totally relates to what you do. Life is movement.
Yeah,
It's breathing and moving, right? That's
it.
good. And what's something people don't see behind where you are today?
I don't know.
Of how much you achieved, and and how much you've built up. So what is it?
People don't see me getting up at 4:30 pretty much every day to go to work.
They see you in the surf, and that's what I think you do. I see you in the surf. Oh, he's surfing.
Yeah, nah, because in the industry I work for, it's usually really early starts, really late finishes, running classes, private classes, stuff like that. They usually run a bunch early in the morning, and then there's a good gap in the middle.
Right.
Most people see me surf in the middle of the day, and they're like, "Oh, this guy doesn't do anything, doesn't work." But like my alarm goes over 4:30 every day, winter, summer.
Yeah, all right.
So it's probably something that people don't see.
So people don't really see the hard work you put in.
Finishing late, like I close the gym 7 p.m., go home, I still have admin stuff to do. Like my break is usually in the middle of the day where I can get stuff done, train, surf, cook lunch, go back home, things like that.
Amazing.
Study, read.
So people don't really see the hard work you put in. All right. Okay. Very good. Man, I just have a final question. It's been amazing here. You just flow so naturally that we could be here for hours. But I do have a final question here. Felipe, if someone feels stuck mid-paddle right now, what would you say to them?
If you're stuck mid-paddle, that means you might be caught, might be getting caught on the current. You just need to find a different direction to go. Like we can use the surf analogy. You're never gonna paddle straight out in a straight line, and that's what life is about. It's not a straight line. So you need to stop, watch, reassess, see where the rip is, where the waves are coming from, where the swell's coming from, like where problems are coming from, and then you need to be capable of finding your way out there.
Amazing.
Just so you can keep paddling, keep moving forward, and that applies to life.
It definitely applies to life. Just when things get tough, and when the sets are pounding you, you just have to keep on paddling and not giving up.
Sometimes you need to take a step back, regroup, breathe, calm yourself down, see what's going on, reassess, make a better decision, and keep going.
Well, been really enjoying my time here. I really want to thank you for your time. It's always a pleasure being with you. And as I said before, guys, this is not a podcast launch. It's just an honest conversation between two friends. And if this resonates with you, who knows? We might do a second part of it. Okay? Thank you very much.